What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tears for Fears. And we're returning for the last new/original track from Songs for a Nervous Planet 2024, and that is Emily Said. It's a bit cryptic of a title. We have a proper name followed by a verb. Now, when you talk about someone saying something, that can be merely informational, or it could be an indication that there's some distinction between what has actually happened and what has been said, or it could be about someone issuing an opinion. Obviously, there are many ways to say things, and there may be many attitudes about what has been said and or who has said it and why. But yes, it certainly seems to be a snippet of what must be a larger narrative or a larger scene, and I wonder the attitude of the speaker in regard to Emily saying whatever she has said. So yes, it feels like there's a lot unsaid, even as we get a clear indication that someone is speaking. And at this point, I feel like I've confused myself. Let's listen to it. This is Tears for Fears. The track is Emily Said, and it's from their 2024 album Songs for a Nervous Planet.
The light outside is heavenly. She takes another picture, then she cries. Ain't this the sweetest life? No pain, no human sacrifice, 'cause you need strawberry skies. You could cry yourself to sleep and they won't know. I'll be lying at your feet with vertigo. You could cry yourself to sleep and they won't know. My love, there'll be no more grinding tongue or raising ghosts. My love, you see and know. Is it a destiny to only see the best in me and never say that you're wrong and you are wrong? She'll have a fight tonight and we will put the world to right. Just one more hallelujah till dawn. Just remember, love is life, not skin and bone. Just go easy on yourself, you're not alone. You can cry yourself to sleep and they won't know. My love, there'll be no more grinding tongue or raising ghosts.
buffet of sonic engagement this track was. I mean, honestly, there was so much happening sonically. I'll try to start lyrically because in the moment I'm forgetting, is Roland's wife named Emily? Like, in the moment I'm forgetting if that's the case. But it feels like it must be given some of the lyrics. But it certainly sounds positive and devotional and also reassuring, the idea that he'll be there even if they do cry themselves to sleep, even if there are issues, but he speaks of his love specifically. So again, in the moment I'm forgetting if that's the name of his second wife. Again, I know his original wife offered a lot of lyrical inspiration, including in a very vulnerable, like painful way. It feels like this is maybe the other side of that, where he's enjoying writing songs that are more happy and devotional and loving in a straight away sense. So it feels like that's probably the case. In the moment, I'm not sure about some of the instruments that I heard. I certainly think I heard a saxophone, but there was also a brass type of flourish that I wondered if it was like a real trumpet or if maybe it was like, brass on a keyboard. But the whole tune had a bit of this like Beatles or maybe like the Bee Gees on the more like folk rock end of their catalog as I've come to know it. So yeah, definitely a bit of a Beatles feel. Ultimately, a very like dynamic tune. There were dog didn't like something out there, but there was a lot of shifts like rhythmically, sonically, and when it came to that drum roll, I really thought it was going to finish and that was going to sort of fade and be the end. And then suddenly we got a bit of this almost like country rock vibe in the final phase. So much going on sonically and really dynamic production, both like the individual parts as well as the overall composition. I really did enjoy some of those keyboard, like, not piano, true piano, it sounded again more like electronic, but a lot of those melodic keyboard runs like really hit the spot. I'm assuming that's Roland on vocals, in part because it seems to be a song that is autobiographical and or about his life and maybe his wife, and then we get this like child choir element, which again made me think a bit of like a Beatles song. Yeah, so just a really interesting tune and seemingly a bit of a throwback, a bit of a like modern production meets oldie-timey stylings. So yeah, just a really fun tune, and it kept me guessing the whole time. It kept me wondering, what the next shift was going to be, what the next instrumental element. There's almost a moment like after the saxophone where I was like, wait, is that like a sitar? I think it was just a plucked style guitar, or at least a guitar with a bit of electric like resonance to it, but just a really cool tune. And ultimately I look forward to Kim and others commenting on the themes here, but yeah, just a dynamic track. So a limited number of new tunes for this compilation, or this album I should say, and I am going to go through the performances of their older catalog or previous songs that are on this, and there's 2 discs, so there's a lot more to go. Very much enjoy the new tracks, and it's just a great thing that, when I discovered Tears for Fears in a deeper sense, in a, like let's go on a deep dive, they had only just come out with The Tipping Point, and that was in a way like a full renaissance of their music. I know they had like tried to make an album a few years before that, and there's some tracks that found their way onto the Rule of the World compilation, but yes, to now have yet another installment in their longer and larger musical story is a great thing. So yeah, more Tears for Fears to come. Let me know what you think of this, and I will see you next time. Peace.